Okay, so I have reported in a previous video how there's a petition started so TLC should remove Big Ed from their channel. I signed the petition, and other people I know commented on my video saying they signed the petition also. When I signed it, I think it was at like 8,000 signatures, and it hit 25,000 signatures. And when it hit 25,000 signatures, it became the top signed petition on change.org. It says here at 50,000 signatures, this petition becomes one of the top signed on change.org, but it's already hit that milestone at 25,000 because I got an email since I signed the petition. But it looks like TLC isn't doing anything about it, or they care, because they are still filming Big Ed for 90 Day the Single Life. There's been pictures leaked where people had pictures, took pictures of the filming when Big Ed was on a date with this new girl that he's been posting with. And also in this video, we're going to talk about a recent interview that Liz did talking about Big Ed. But this is Ed with this girl he's been going on dates with. And Liz said in this interview that I'm about to talk about here in a second that Ed, every time him and Liz would break up, he would always go to the same girl every single time. And so I wonder if this is that same girl Liz was talking about, or a new girl. But she's been posting with Ed, he's been posting with Ed, and obviously she must not know none of his history, because she has no problem being seen with him and showing it on IG to all her followers. And then also I want to talk about Liz. So she's the one dating Big Ed on 90 Day the Single Life, and she's the one that released the Big Ed phone call. Well, she did a interview with John J. Walters, and I didn't know who he was, but I guess he was on 90 Day Fiance, and it got recommended to me on my YouTube, and it was like a week ago, but I thought it was quite interesting, and I just wanted to touch on a few points in that interview. So one of the most important things I think she talked about is what she said Big Ed went to her restaurant every day, but we knew that because he said that on 90 Day the Single Life. But she said he came into her restaurant every day and asked every other girl that worked at her restaurant to go on a date with him for the show 90 Day the Single Life, and every girl kept turning him down time and time after again. So after everyone else turned him down and he had no other options, he started begging Liz, and Liz told him no, and he wouldn't leave Liz alone for 2 months and was just persistent, coming to the restaurant, asking her every day, and just saying, come on, just do one date for the show, that's all you gotta do. And Liz finally agreed and went on the date with him. Liz said she only finally agreed after Big Ed had to bring his best friend into her restaurant with him, and that's the girl that we saw on 90 Days of Single Life that came in when he asked Liz out, and she helped coach Big Ed before he asked her out. And so Liz said after that, and she said she developed feelings for him. She wasn't expecting to develop feelings for him, and then ended up turning into something. And she claimed she wasn't trying to clout chase or nothing like that. It was just all organic. And she also said about the phone call that came out, she said that was only one of many conversations that her and Big Ed had like that. She said that Big Ed, like I said earlier in the video, would always break up with her and go party and go to clubs, and he'd be taking pictures with all these girls in thongs and stuff like that, and he would always go back to the same girl every single time. And she said Big Ed was also upset because he wanted her to end the lease and fully move out of the place she was staying when she moved in with Big Ed, but she wanted to keep her other place just in case for a backup. And Big Ed didn't like that. He's like, come on, you're living with me now, why are you keeping this other place? And people have been saying Liz is a gold digger, but Liz claims that Big Ed never gave her any money. When on the episode when he was talking about how he bought her a swimsuit, like on one of the last episodes of 90 Days of the Single Life, she claims that the only reason he bought that swimsuit is because he was trying to convince her to go on the beach, and she didn't want to go on the beach because she was cold and she had just gained weight, but Big Ed was pushing her because the producers wanted to do a scene on the beach, and she ended up doing it, but she's like, I don't have a swimsuit, so you're gonna have to buy me one. So Big Ed ended up having to buy her a swimsuit, but she said that was pretty much like one of the very few times that he actually spent money on her. And she also said the last time that she saw Ed was the day of the tell-all, when he promised her they were going to do 3 counseling sessions together. And she ended up going home with him that night, and they ended up hooking up. And he ended up ghosting her and never did counseling with her and never spoke with her again. Except for one time when he texted her and said, "Thanks for being on the show with me." You know, honestly, I don't think Big Ed is ready for a girlfriend. I think he's just faking it so he can be on 90 Day the Single Life, because that's his cash cow. I don't think he was really 100% as interested as Ed. I think he just wanted to be famous and saw an opportunity to be famous by coming on this show. And he has to be dating and seeking in order to be on 90 Day the Single Life. So I just don't see him committing to anyone. And I don't think he's ready to commit to anyone and have a healthy relationship, because this man has a lot of problems. And honestly, I'm pretty upset that TLC isn't taking any kind of action. But then again, at the same time, TLC brought Ed on when they already knew that he'd been charged with SA before. So I mean, they knew that, unless they didn't do a background check, and still decided to bring him on national television. So I guess they're okay with it. It must be some creeps running TLC, because only creeps are okay with creepy behavior like that. Liz said she had no idea about the essay that happened with Big Ed and the girl that he did it to back in 2016, but she said she's going to be talking to her sometime within this week. This girl that we see Big Ed with, that he's dating now, there's no way she has not heard something about Big Ed. You know, she posted on social media all this stuff. Big Ed posted pictures with her and tagged her in it. So I know people have had to message her and give her some kind of hint. So I wonder why she's doing this. Is Big Ed paying her? Is Big Ed saying, "Hey, I'll make you famous"? Or is she, I don't know. I just don't get it. And of course, she's young, around his daughter's age, like he likes them, which is super creepy. Why do you think this girl is dating Big Ed? Do you think she's a clout chaser? Do you think she genuinely feels for Big Ed? And I guess we'll be seeing this girl and Big Ed on their dates on 90 Day the Single Life Season 2. I don't know. I don't think I'm going to watch Big anymore. I'm going to have to fast forward through his parts on 90 Day the Single Life when it does come out. I just cannot support the type of behavior that he has done. And it's just been so obvious that Big Ed is a creep, and he was super creepy with Liz in 90 Days Single Life Season 1. And it's just crazy that TLC is still giving this creep a platform. It's just not cool whatsoever. So let me know what you think about that. Let me know in the comments below. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you haven't already. And make sure you turn on the bell notification so you don't miss it as soon as I drop another video. And if there's any other tea you want me to spill, let me know in the comments below.